And welcome to another daily review with Adrian H. I'm try and make this a nice quick one. Today we're going to be reviewing Friday the 25th of July, and going to be going over the C's indicators as well as our standard deviations and manipulation zones. So let's begin. We have another smaller power of 3 in here. So after we had this Asia sell-off into London, we've had our accumulation in here, manipulation into quarter 3, and expansion. So basically being the daily candle has opened, we've done a little high here, go low to manipulate and expand high, open, low, high, close. And we're going to quickly turn on C's, and we want to look at we're here on the daily. So if we go into settings here, we can change this to the daily. And let's see how far down that got. So normally for bullish continuation, we're looking for price to come back into the internal range. So the green part here is our internal range. This means it's in the previous daily candle, and we're looking for reversals around that median. It's the most common reversal point. You can see price came down into the 85th percentile. So for bullish continuation days, that means only 15% of the daily candles went lower than this. Good to know. So we've opened, gone low into the previous daily candle, into our OTE area, and then expanded higher into our external range, which is above the previous daily candles. And that's where it's that darker color, and expanded into the 75th percentile of the external range. So only 25% of daily candles going higher than this. We'll have a look at our H4 on C's. Get an idea of order flow through this. Here we go. So we start the day as we come into Asia. Price is going from the H4, from internal to external, internal to external. And then we have our switch here. So we take our PDH, and then we've gone into from external to internal, and we start to change here. So we get our PDH sweep. We come into quarter 4 here of Asia, and then we get our breakdown. So Q1 in London, giving our change in state of delivery on the 5 minute. We can then draw our standard deviations here. And if we have a quick look, we can go into more there as well, and we'll watch that reversal. So as we come back down, we're then into quarter 3 of New York and continue up. So we're going internal range to external. Get our external on the H4, which was below the daily median, and just into the 50th percentile on that H4. And then as we go into our next 4 hour, the 10 o'clock, for continuation, we want internal to external, and we're trying to catch this leg here. We want the expansion of that 10 o'clock H4. So nice order flow there on the 4 hour with C's as well. Turn that off, we'll put more on. So I've got more set to this is the 8 hour. And the reason I was using that 8 hour is because on the chart here, this gives us all the time frames for more for the sweep and open retest. So once we got into 2 o'clock, if we go back to here, as we're stepping through and we get the H4 sweep, if we play this out quickly, there we go. So once we get that sweep, we can see we have 82% probability of that 2 a.m. open being retested now that the H4 has been swept. So ideally, we want this to then keep coming down, and the lower the better, because it's giving us a larger range from the manipulation back to that open retest. And the reason why I chose the 8 hour is because on the chart here, for more, we have all our different time frames, and you can go through and change this in the settings. I like to have them all on because then it tells me which one to look at. So the 8 hour had the highest probability at 82%. So normally I've been using the 4 hour, and once I'd seen that statistic come up on the 8 hour, I then changed it back to the 8 hour. So having these charts on the side is very handy for which time frame to be watching and to have the indicator set to. And we'll just go back to the high here for that Asia manipulation, and we'll turn on hyper, and then we can also see the hyper levels. So we can see we have nice high percentages for all of these lows. So 82.94% for this low to get hit. We have Asia low. Asia low was here, right on the Asia open. 85% to be hit there. So for the trade idea, once we get, ideally we're looking for this to break or a flip of a fair value gap, bullish fair value gap here. So inverted BISI. So we can step through here. We have our zone. We can enter shorts. Had a nice swing failure pattern candle here. So stop would go above that. If we're also looking at C's on the H4, you can see we've got our 4 hour median here. So nice level, we're in the external range as well. So nice level for reversal there for a pivot. And then we're targeting our SD levels that line up with these liquidity levels. So SD 1.5 is really good there. And then we can look at SD 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. Can also turn on mirror to have a look and see where we are within 4 hour, 12 hour, and daily is all in extreme premium. So we're very high here across the 3 time frames. The 4 hour discount, extreme discounts down here, and 12 hour and daily is down here. So good confluence up here. We also have these alerts triggered here on mirror for possible trend reversal. So we'll keep clicking through. So the other trades. So ideally on 4 different accounts. And we're going for SD 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. Or 4 to 4.5, depending what it lines up with. So we have another low here. Okay, keep moving along. Watch price play out here. We're then going into, so we hit London, we're in Q1. It takes out a heap of that liquidity. We can see on hyper. Have our, so SD 1.5, 2.5, we'll normally see a reaction for our redistribution at 1.5, redistribution at 2.5. If price is going to keep continuing down to here, which is also around the OTE of the daily range. So big London sell-off, Q2 and Q3. So yeah, SD 2.5, we're creating our redistribution range. which normally we'll see like a SBS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We take the low. Click through. We're into quarter 2 now. So for our Q3 manipulation, we know we've got that open retest up here. So we're looking at that 10 o'clock level. Now we just want a manipulation swing that we can do our standard deviations from. We can see hyper now is changing. So we have a lot of high percentage probabilities for higher. We've still got 73% for here and 69% for this low. And CH is the current hour, end of day, still pretty high, 84, 82%. So I want to be cautious in here. And as this is building a redistribution range as well, not the best to look for longs yet. All right, into quarter 3, there's our 905 candle. We've now taken the last bit of liquidity. $9.20. Which is the next two? $9.30. There we go. So we've taken liquidity. We then get 2 additional sweeps. And now we want to get in on our zone. So we had our change in state of delivery. We're building our displacement. Get our long positions. And we're looking at SD 1.5, which lines up with all of this liquidity. And SD 2.5 if we want to go higher. SD 3.5 and 4.5. So we draw on our box here. So this is now our NYAM quarter 3 manipulation swing. Oops. No liquidity levels left on hyper for lower. So we would have been just tagged in on this candle here. Got to open retest now here. Once we swept that high of that previous, once we swept the high of the previous 8 hour, because we're on 8 hour for more. So once that gets swept, shows us a retest. And continue up. So there's our TP1. Just turn more off for a minute while we're watching this. And up to SD 2.5. Just missing that, I think, by a tick. And now we can see we're also up in that premium of the 4 hour, 12 hour and daily. And then price just consolidates for the PM session to finish the day. So very nice setups. Power of 3 in here. Sell off from Asia into London, giving us to SD4. Then we get our change in state of delivery, expansion, and SD1, and just missing SD 2.5 there. Once we hit SD 1.5, then we normally stop loss to break even. The other thing I wanted to note as well is each of these manipulation zones, Q3 manipulation zone in the PM, going into Q3 manipulation zone from the AM, so that we can use this whole swing here. Price then manipulates back into there in another Q3, continues up. We can draw this across. So this whole swing here, the manipulation. So these are shorts that are used to manipulate, push price up. This becomes unmitigated. So price needs to come back and release the trap shorts. And that's why we get these big reactions. So we can step these up. We then have our next swing. So price comes back into our previous day manipulation zone, expands up. Plus we can align it with our OT of the daily range. And then on Cs, we had our daily median for confluence. And on the H4, we were down into the 50th percentile on the H4. As this all built up, like all these relative equal highs, this is not what a high looks like. And we're in a bullish expansion week. So we want the daily to open, low, high, close. All good. Well, I'll leave it there, guys. Trying to make these as quick as I can for everybody. Any questions, drop it in the chat. If you enjoyed this or get something out of it, please like and share to help support my YouTube channel. I'll have the link to the indicators in the chat as well. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your weekend.